everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Explore the Spectrum. I'm your host, Jeanetta, and we are joined with Brendan from AdaptX. How are you doing, Brendan?
I'm well, thank you for having me.
So it's exciting when I see people fill the needs, and you have made a journey of filling the need, being inspired as early as high school, and then finding ways to support this community. So I don't want to tell your story for you. Share with us real quick what got you inspired to want to work in the special needs community.
Yeah, I was first exposed to disability when I was a sophomore in high school through Special Olympics. The individual that I was partnered with to play basketball with was incredible, and still 17 years later is a good friend of mine. My career kind of revolved around like, how can I combine my love of special education and athletics and fitness to come up with a career, and that's kind of what I do now.
You know, it's impressive to me. So you were with the Special Olympics of Best Buddies and having these moments, and I feel like schools need to know that, right? Had you not had that exposure to knowing some of these other students, you might not have kept on the trajectory that you're on. And I think that there's a lot of value to students being able to interact with someone and learn a little bit different opportunities and how those unfold. So fitness is also your passion, and merging those two things is where AdaptX has come from. I think it's a really clever and wonderfully brilliant idea to try to merge these two areas, because sometimes what we find, and this is why it's important that Special Olympics works with people in all ages, right? Because they become very, what's the best word for this? Set in their ways, perhaps, and not necessarily wanting to engage and not necessarily wanting to work on fitness. So, how does AdaptX do that? What are some of the goals and mission behind it?
Yeah, kind of going off that first thing you said, like I had no exposure to disability prior to Special Olympics, and I say all the time that if that program didn't exist in my district, I wouldn't be doing anything remotely similar to what I'm doing now. So actually, my first company was Unified Health and Performance, so that's our brick and mortar gym. So I started that when I was 23, and the premise was just to give individuals with disabilities a place to train alongside their peers and come up with like a model to seamlessly integrate people with disabilities into traditional fitness environments. And now AdaptX is our nonprofit that is more educational based, and we help other gyms and personal trainers learn like tools and strategies to support people with different abilities. So for us, it was like the report that we built with all of our clients has been essential to the consistency in which they've trained with. So we want to think that we're not just meeting their physical needs, but also their social, emotional needs, their cognitive needs, and kind of creating an environment where they look forward to going to, and not just because of the workout, but because of the people that are there.
As a parent, you hope for that beyond what's happening at school. That, a parent, quite obviously, there are a lot of different diagnoses that we're talking about right now. But you want your child to grow up and be able to have all of these different experiences. And when they're in high school and younger, it seems like it's a little bit easier for that to happen. But as they age, it's harder for them to find those areas that are safe and good and motivational. And so for you, creating that for the transition into adulthood and beyond is really, really special. Have you had success with working with different gyms across the country, or are you pretty much located in one geographic footprint? Where would people be
Yeah,
able to learn
so
more?
so yeah, so AdaptX is kind of our means of helping other gyms around the country and around the world. And we've been teaching the curriculum for the last couple of years. We've worked with universities. I think we're in like 18, 19 states, as well as a few other countries as well. But our goal is to create more facilities like Unified Health and Performance. So I think in the next year to 2 years, we'll probably have a second location, and hopefully we can come up with a model that is able to replicate that and kind of create more environments across the country for people with disabilities to train.
It's incredible. So you're working with people in 18 states and around the world. That's really something to take pride in. If somebody is watching this and they say, this is something that should be implemented here in our community or in our neighborhood or in our gym, if it happens to be that specific, How would someone find you to learn more?
Yeah, adaptx.org. So that's the word adapt and then the letter x.org. That's our nonprofit's website, and we have a variety of resources there. We have information about the course that we teach. We do research. We have a podcast. We interview people with disabilities and talk about their lived experience. So, yeah, that website would be the best way to connect with us.
What a motivational place to land. So, if you're a parent or a professional and you've got somebody that's in your realm that could benefit from this, start by going to the website, right? Like, go and hear some of these stories and get motivated to help that person out. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me and let me share the work that I do.
Absolutely. And to all of our viewers, thank you for joining us as we continue to explore the possibilities.